welcome to Series 2 of the Relish Lifestyle podcast. Can't believe 12 episodes or something in our first one.
I know, that's amazing. I
mean,
can't...
it's gone by in a flare.
Anyway, relishing.
Yeah.
So we've decided, haven't we? We're going to kickstart this
Relish by name, relish by nature.
Exactly, yes. Lots of things to relish. And as a starting point, Charlie, as a great taste judge, you had a judging day, didn't you, recently?
I did.
So what things did you relish on that day?
There was a lot going on, as there always is. So I do the general judging, which I prefer because it's not just one product or type of product, like coffee, for example, or beer or something all day. It's just, you can get everything. So I had everything from ice cream to bacon. I tried a bacon, chocolate, salami, ice cream, cider. There was lots going on. So there was a lot of things I relished in a lot of different categories. So it was delicious cider that just reminded me of that kind of Normandy cider, you know, that kind of slightly cidre, that dryness, but like a wonderful kind of the aroma was that kind of hit. It's what you want a kind of traditional cider farm almost to smell like.
Yeah.
But some very clever products as well. I mean, ice creams in the shape of a mango, you know, with a mango sorbet sour. I mean, it was just wonderful. I mean, the stuff that's going on, the MPD and development of food is incredible.
But I'm just thinking about your stomach.
Yeah.
So do you sort of arrive and don't eat anything?
I have to say, I don't eat anything really before but you aren't eating a lot. It's like a wine tasting. You sit there, so you don't have to eat lots and lots. And actually, you're encouraged almost not to eat too much because it goes on to other tables to, like, you know, have referrals and other scores. So it's very well coordinated and it's a brilliant day. I'm very fortunate to do it. So, and obviously then if a producer, it doesn't matter sort of what size you are. It's not all big producers. Lots of it's very small people.
Oh yeah, I always thought it was kind of quite often you see independents when they're sort of just beginning to sort of.
And you obviously get a 1, 2 or 3 star.
Oh, I bet.
And you can then put that sticker, that, you know, accreditation onto your product. So I think it's a wonderful thing, and it brings lots of different people together in lots of different palettes.
But not many people get a 3-star, do they?
No. It has to be an incredibly, you know, the quality has to be there, the taste has to be there, the aroma has to be there. Obviously, it depends what category you're in, but it has to be it's basically a product without any faults. Like, you cannot improve it. Yeah.
Exceptional, yeah.
I guess it's a bit like a Michelin restaurant having 3 stars. You know, how much can you improve?
Oh, yeah, cool. Right, okay.
So I think it's a wonderful thing. It's my 3rd year of doing it. And it's great to meet lots of different people as well, the different judges and coordinators.
So, Charlie, did you get any 3-starers? I know you can't tell us.
I can't say.
But can you say that there were any that you tasted?
Well, there's some. I'm sure there'll be a smattering in there, definitely. I have to be quite vague on that, I think. But it was a wonderful day. Lots of different levels of stars. And
when do the suppliers know that they've been awarded these?
Well, I think this all takes quite a long time. So the judging starts in sort of January, February time and goes all the way through to June.
Wow.
So then I think then the sort of, it gets released later on. So I'd have to check the exact dates. But yeah, it's quite a long, not long, but it's obviously quite a thorough and, you know, well thought through procedure to get. So,
and obviously, you sit on a table with other people, but then there's lots of other tables, isn't there? So this is a great thing. It's because we know taste is subjective.
Yeah, very personal.
So,
actually, it was one of the things we were talking about in the afternoon in the group I was in, is how personal food is. You know, like for me, like as an example, I don't like raw tomatoes. So it's going to be very, luckily, obviously there aren't any raw tomatoes to taste yesterday, but it'd be very hard for me not to be subjective and go, oh, I don't really like raw tomatoes. I've got a preconditioned, almost excluding that from what I want to try.
Yeah.
But luckily the other day when I did it, it's, you know, I didn't have any products like that. I tried them all.
But presumably if something comes across or comes to your table that you've got to taste, and maybe you've got an allergy or you really don't like it, I'm presuming you can.
Well, I think there's like I think you fill in a form to begin with to say whether you're obviously allergic. Because, you know, in the past I've been given an oyster and stuff like that to try, so I couldn't have done that if I'd had allergies.
Are you allowed to share what was your most luxuriant?
I probably can't say what particular product, but there was a lot of luxuriant sort of. Unctuous was a word that came across quite a lot. I do quite like that word, but it was just that sense of, I mean, there was some bacon in there was some ice cream in it that just was, unctuous. You just wanted to eat more.
Yeah, cool.
Hard not to just have a nibble and judge that. You wanted the whole plate of the bacon, or the ice cream, etc. So, it was really good. And it's a great thing to do. And it's just good to see what's happening in the wider marketplace, as in what's happening within food and
trends.
What trends are coming through.
In the time that you've been doing it, do you think the quality, are you noticing better quality?
I think,
coming through.
I think the quality is incredibly high. I think Britain as a country has incredibly high food standards anyway, just generally.
Yeah.
And then obviously I think when you're doing MPD and development and producing premium products or more premium products, I think the quality is always going to be sort of a step above other countries that might not have such stringent, food control, I guess. But I think it's incredibly high quality stuff. And I think in terms of things like, not just based on what I did, do the judging, but just generally things like the dairy category, I think is, incredibly strong in Britain now in terms of cheeses, creams, kefirs, all that kind of stuff, what you can get, is almost world leading, I would say now, in terms of variety and quality.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that's just dairy. I'm not ruling out things like bread. I think bread, in Britain has jumped probably in the last 5-10 years incredibly high.
So we're coming, I know that there is obviously the one side of the market which, needs to be cheaper, but then there's this sort of antithesis to that, less processed but high quality tasting or tasteful products.
Yeah. But I think there's also like an element where, one of the things I definitely think is you can throw the kitchen sink at some things. So you could put everything, I'm sure we're going to do something later, but when you try certain things, you think, God, they've literally, whoever's done this has put every conceivable herb, oil, vinegar into something.
Work.
And it doesn't work.
No.
But if you do something, it doesn't have to be complicated to be incredibly delicious, I think.
No, and I guess that transfers into the kitchen as well.
Yeah.
I mean, most top chefs will say, and all of us will say, is the quality of the ingredients. And if you treat them the right way, you are going to get some sort of delicious meal out.
And I think one of the other things that's just quite interesting to note is seasoning. It's a really, again, I know it's quite a subjective thing, seasoning. Like, some people prefer a bit more salt, some people prefer a bit more pepper, etc. But it's interesting just trying what we've done in our little small tastings and what I've done and you've done in other things, is how wrong it can be done. Like literally none at all, or very salty.
Yeah.
And that goes from products you buy all the way through to restaurants, I think.
I think there's an absolute art in seasoning food, and I think a lot of people don't get it right when they're cooking, and I think then you don't really experience the flavours that you should.
No.
And I think some people are a bit scared of it, but the chefs will always say, won't they?
Yeah.
In a proper kitchen, keep tasting. Keep tasting, and be mindful of when you add seasoning. And, you can always add more. It's a bit like, if you overcook a beautiful steak or a piece of meat, you can't, unfortunately, undercook it. And it's the same with seasoning.
No, I mean, you can't. I think there is that thing that I think if you were to go mad with salt, it's the one thing you can't actually undo.
No, that's what I mean.
Over-salting is the one seasoning you can't really fix. Once you've done that, you've sort of destroyed whatever you were cooking. But I think there's a balance. But I do like a bit of salt on, I think, things like a steak, egg. I do like, if you top a boiled egg and you put a tiny bit of salt, I like those sort of molten sea salt crystals. If you put a bit in the egg.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That, again, to me, that's like an unctuous thing.
No. I think salt is incredibly
It brings
important.
the level of the egg and the thing up.
Of course, my little weakness is if I ever have a boiled egg, it's to have Marmite toast. Because that's where you get the saltiness.
See, sometimes I have Bovril.
Oh, yeah, or Bovril, but I get it,
But people would...
Yeah.
Because obviously
I know, but anyway. Anyway, so these are all the things we've read.
Going.
So that's really great, Charlie. So we'll get to see some of those products that you tasted.
Yeah.
On the
Obviously,
shelves
it's all
probably
blind,
next year.
so I have no idea.
No.
Where they've come from, who made them, nothing. So it's all blind. It's really clever. And so I won't know either.
But we do recommend, don't we? I mean, you would recommend if you see a great taste sticker, might only have 1 star, but bear in mind, they only get 3, the top is 3 stars. So to even get a star is great.
It's an incredible
achievement. So it's worth, when you're looking at things, if you see a great taste sticker, we've got some on the table in front of us, is worth giving them a try. So moving on, these are all things Relish, because we thought as of, the series 1.
Second series.
Second episode. First episode of series 2. Yeah. All things Relish. So, Charlie, you're going to do a little tasting.
Looks like
we've got some Relishes.
Jars and vessels.
Now, we did look up, Charlie,
did you?
What denotes a relish.
Right.
And it can be anything that's cooked or pickled, like a condiment. So, of course, lots of things fall into that. You see things labelled pickle or chutney. Not that many things are actually labelled relish. But we're going to kick off with the first one, I think.
Yeah.
Let's kick off with this one, because this is really an old-fashioned...
This is I don't know whether it's kind of the one that I don't know everyone knows about or has. I don't know. It's also a funny name, isn't it? Gentleman's Relish.
It's called Gentleman's Relish. This is what we're trying.
And it comes in like a sort of, it is a plastic pot now.
Yeah.
It's quite a sort of, you twist it off. The label holds the two ends of the pot
And
together.
can I just say, established 1828.
Wow. So I'm having it on.
And the Gentleman's Relish, I mean, it's quite a,
Wow. I mean,
delicious on hot toast, it says.
do you want to try some?
Oh, yeah, I will.
It's got a lovely, obviously it's incredibly saline, like saltiness to it. It's obviously a lot. I think it's sort of 60% anchovy. Yeah. There's definitely a hit there. You don't need a lot. But it's a delicious, I mean, it suggests having it just on hot toast, but I think you could have that with other things. I'm trying to think.
And also, I'm just thinking, Charlie, that you could add to things, like we've just been talking. Because there are some lamb dishes, and before, when salt was really scarce, quite often anchovies were used to salt dishes. And so you could easily use this, because you can get, obviously, anchovy sauce or paste, you could use that.
That's lovely.
Wow.
Because there's this thing at the moment, isn't there? Like, I don't know if it's a trend, but sort of doing anchovy sauce with steaks and things.
Yeah.
But I think it's that, again, the
anchovies
salty.
we used a lot.
That is nice. I have to be honest, I've never had it before.
No.
So there we go. There's a first there. Gentleman's Relish first. They say, it says here, perfect spread on toast, crackers or blinis. So
there we go. So 1828. So, Gentleman's Relish, that was probably one of the very first relishes.
Right, shall I try out?
So try another one.
Right, this is the caramelised onion one.
Okay, and this has got a great taste award.
It has. Yeah. Lovely. Oniony flavour. Are you having some?
I'll have a tiny bit.
Lovely dark colouring.
Oh,
thick
yeah.
Consistency, chunky onion. Yeah, I mean, that is lovely.
And what was that? Who's that by?
Cottage Delight, they're called. But it's got onion, sugar, it's balsamic vinegar. But yeah, I think that's a nice veg. I definitely have that sort of, I think, in a picnic or...
And what star did that get?
It's a 1 star.
That's got a 1 star. Well, that is really...
Lovely.
Really rich, I think, and very oniony. We meant to say that the Gentleman's Relish is by a brand called Patum Peperium. So it's quite an unusual brand. I don't know if that is owned by anybody else.
Well, I think it's Latin. I think.
So do we know, actually? I didn't look to see who actually owns that, but...
No.
Anyway, sorry, I just wanted to... We'd forgotten to say that. Or does it just pull off?
No, well, I just wanted to see if I could... Yeah. No, I think it does just pull off. But I don't know if we know who it's by.
Okay.
Anyway.
Maybe we'll look that up before the end
Definitely.
of the podcast.
But yeah, delicious. So that was another lovely.
So that's completely different. So we've got one that's like an anchovy paste, and one that is onion, caramelized onion relish.
Yeah,
completely different.
So I'm going to try another one now. This is a fig and what is this? Fig and balsamic relish.
Nice. I love figs.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Again, that's a lovely relishy, yeah,
let me try that.
Balsamic. Lovely to use. I think again with like cold meat or ham or something.
Oh, that's really figgy. In my ham, like figgy pudding. Oh, and that's Waitrose #1.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That is a nice one.
Really delicious. I mean, figs do give that really rich flavour. And it's like prunes as well.
Yeah.
They can be whizzed up into things.
So we've got some other I'm going to try a slightly different one, I think. This is do you want to talk about this one I tried?
This is Verdaz, and they do quite a few relishes. They're relatively new to the market, probably a couple of years. And they do, this is cold brined, and this is hot and sweet jalapeno. Charlie's taking a quick swig of water. This would be more come under pickles, though they call it a relish, and then they do other things as well. They do some kimchis, and they do like I think some beetroot ones and stuff. But these are absolutely delicious. I'm sure I've talked about these before, but it's
fresh,
really fresh. It is in the fridge counters. You can buy it. But I find sprinkled on anything from a sandwich to an egg to a salad. I love it on salads, but you can sprinkle it on anything. It just gives that lovely fresh hit. Anyway, so that's Valdez, and it's the hot and sweet jalapeno relish. Okay. So I'm a great fan of that one.
Trying another one now. So this is it's a mango one.
We should have put it forward for a great taste.
Yes. Looks like one of yours, actually. September 2017. Big old jar. But lovely.
Yeah. So that's so a big fan of making mango relish.
Yeah.
A homemade mango relish. And it's not just to have with a curry.
I think we can also say it is you would say mango chutney. It's just that what we're doing is just trying to sort of sample different ones that are for different uses.
Yeah.
And very different in terms of flavour profile. So it's a real mix. But all of them, to be honest, that gentleman's relish is very different from them.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
What did you say? It was Verdez.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very different. I mean, that's a smooth paste.
Yeah.
And I would say it's more like a paste.
Yeah.
That is a chunky kind of, almost like a salsa chunk.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Then we've tried some others which are a bit more puree but still have texture to them. So it's a really weird one with sort of the definition between a relish.
Well, I think from looking it up and it said cooked or pickled condiment, I think that's why chutneys would fall into... So relish, chutneys, regardless, a chutney is really a side condiment.
Yeah.
And so I think, it's something you relish because it's adding that bit of piquancy.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. As I say, for a sandwich, a pie, a salad, or piece of cheese or whatever.
So I've just tried an autumn chutney, which you made, it was like last year in September.
That's yours, isn't it?
An autumn one. Oh, is it one of mine?
No, that one's yours.
Oh.
So I made the mango chutney, and Charlie, I've got one here, relish one, and that's Charlie's autumn chutney.
Again, slightly different. It's less. Yeah. This has got like sort of sultanas and bits and bobs in it, and that's an absolutely, again, they're all quite, I mean, what I would say is the more sort of, what I think is a more traditional relish, they're quite chunky, dark, definitely got that vinegar.
And they've been cooked down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you've still got that, chunks of whatever's in it.
Yeah. Because you want to taste that. Like that one, you could taste the fig. I think
That's
the mango
lovely.
one, you do taste it, but you do add some spices.
Yeah.
And I think mango, it's sweet, but you do get that kind of, I think that one's probably quite caramelised. I mean, this one, you maybe have tomatoes, but now we've gone to a very well-known brand, the Branston pickle. And obviously that's done in a slightly different way.
As a pickle, it's a bit like, what were we tasting the other week? Oh, it was the mini eggs. Mini egg. There's something about Branston pickle that I just sometimes think hits the spot.
And it's amazing. I mean, I know that's a processed, that's quite processed. But they've managed to keep the chunks. I think you do still crunch on a chunk of something.
Yeah, and it's still over 50% sort of vegetable. I mean, obviously there's spices, tomato, vinegar.
Yeah.
There's not a huge amount in there. There's actually really nothing in there that I would say, oh no, that shouldn't be in there, or why is that in there? Looking at that.
Interestingly enough, the old brand, that's 1922.
But this one says it's 100. Oh, no. 102 years old, 103 years old.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a really, I think brands, most of these would go quite nicely with cheese, maybe not the gentleman's relish or the gherkiny one, but all these others would be delicious.
But I definitely think this gentleman's relish could be stirred into things. I definitely think you could use that to cook with.
Yeah.
I think that's the only one. I wouldn't have used any of these others to cook with. They would go on something else, like a salad or a side dish or a piece of cheese or
like
sandwich or something. Yeah. Anyway, well, there
we go. That was relishing.
Relishing relishes.
Lots of relishing.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, it smells. Actually, it all smells divine here at the moment.
No, we'll keep nipping.
Yeah.
I must stop.
No, we'll stop. Okay. Right. So I just wanted to have a bit of a moan. And I shouldn't moan on our first one, on our second series.
Oh, no,
but
what's happened?
What is happening to the varieties of our fruit and veg at the moment? Now, this is generally a bit of a moan at some supermarkets. My biggest beef is easy peelers, okay?
Yeah.
Or it just says potatoes, right? We haven't gone that far with apples. I mean, I just wonder. I mean, sometimes it just as apples, but I think it's really important that we know what our varieties are. Because for me, different varieties do cook in different ways or taste differently. And there was a reason why they're different varieties. And I just think it's really important. I mean, I looked up something. Let me look at this. What did I write down? I mean, once upon a time, you'd have tangerines, clementines, satsumas, mandarins, that sort of stuff. But so often you go and all it says is easy peelers, which really puts me off. And also, I'm like, could we have some respect for the customer?
I know.
Don't we want to kind of know? And we talk about provenance.
Yeah.
And actually, we've even got rid of the names of things,
I know what you mean. I feel like it's all become a bit generic. Like an apple, a potato.
I know.
But I did a bit of research. Do you know how many varieties of apple are in the UK?
No, I don't.
Do you want to have a guess?
I know potatoes. I looked up the potato.
Okay, we'll try and guess this and I'll try and guess
so did you say
apples?
Apples. 800.
2,500 in the UK.
Whoa.
Yeah. Different varieties. But you wouldn't know that.
No. You only get about 4 or 5 in shops.
So varieties.
Okay, go on then.
Well, there's not that many in the supermarket.
No.
So I'm just trying to think, when you go around. Right, but it's more in the UK or just generally. We don't know that bit. I'm going to say
I think it's generally in
25.
the UK. 5,000 varieties.
Different variety of potato.
Yeah. And that's actually, if you go on the potato bank, whatever it is, I mean, it's extraordinary. And around 80 are used commercially. And I think those 80, not that you're seeing 80 in the shops, I think some of those are used for things like crisps.
Yeah, they will be.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, if you think about that, so if 80 are used commercially out of 5,000, and then how many you can count when you go to the supermarket. Now, I would say potatoes aren't as bad.
But not many.
I mean, because you could get the new potatoes and you get, your Jersey Royals and all that kind of stuff.
Potatoes.
I think the annual ones are really good. I like those. But, there's Charlottes and there's all sorts of stuff. There's some great stuff out there. So I just got a beef that, please,
variety.
Like to know what our varieties are. I mean,
but I do agree with the easy peeler because I really like a satsuma. And I feel like satsumas have been almost usurped into this easy peeler category.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't get them unless it's Christmas.
I mean, I think, I know from a commercial point of view, they're probably just doing it because I think I read somewhere that, some of these varieties they can't use commercially because they're not disease resistant.
There is that.
Okay, so they're quite difficult to grow.
Water, if we have floods.
Yeah, so some of them are changing, so I understand that. But even so, they will all have varieties. They will all be varieties out there. They won't just be a potato. So, anyway, that was my beef. I don't know what anyone else thinks about it.
Well, we can, on that, ask people in other parts of the world. So, I had a quick look on who is listening to us. Now, don't worry, I don't know. This isn't some sort of hacking cyber attack. I don't know where you live or what your postcode is or any of that. But I can see...
Maybe one or two of our listeners.
But I can see where people are listening. So, Thailand. People quite popular in Thailand. Sweden and Austria are our top 3 countries outside of the United Kingdom.
Okay, so we need to do some Austrian
Thai,
we need to do some recipes. Okay, well we need to do something.
But we'll look at that. But what I'm saying was, it'd be interesting to know what your feelings are on food in your countries, because obviously we're obviously very quite UK specific. Obviously we do try and look at what's happening, when we go away and stuff. But it's just quite interesting us around potatoes. Is there something similar in your country that's happening there?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, varieties. I think we need to hang on to varieties,
Agreed.
And the best way to do that is for our particularly our big grocers and our supermarkets to make sure those varieties are there. They do need to leave them up. Anyway, that's my beef.
So talking about like varieties and sort of, I know it's sort of similar, but sort of just changing things up a bit. So obviously we did our Greek Odyssey last year.
Oh, yeah.
And we talked about that. So I obviously got the Greek cookbook as well, we've talked about. So I wanted to do, you'd mentioned, I did for you, I think when I was about 9, I did some sort of orange semolina cake thing.
Oh, you did. I love those sort of cakes.
And so obviously at the weekend, I had a go at making it's called Ravana. Or Ravani, actually. And this is a semolina and ground almond cake. It has no flour in it and no fat. But obviously, some of the ingredients I sort of switched up. So basically, I followed the recipe, changed to sort of some of the quantities around a bit just to suit my tin that I had that I was going to cook it in.
Oh, yeah.
And also, they use a huge amount of egg. I don't know if you've noticed this. Like Portuguese, Greek, their cake, sometimes, like a dozen eggs in a cake. It just seems a lot for us. Ours is like 3 or 4.
Yeah, but I think eggs are filling and they're very good, high protein. And actually, it's a healthy option.
Yeah, and I guess you could keep chicken.
And they're probably prolific. Yeah. They're probably, eggs are
quite easy to keep a chicken. Anyway, but I felt the syrup that went on afterwards, which is obviously quite a traditional sort of way of cooking, especially sort of in Greece and Turkey. You add a syrup after you've baked.
And I have very sweet tooth.
Yeah. But it was just sugar. And I thought, well, actually, I'm going to change this up a bit. So I added a bit of, I added some cardamom pods, and a bit of half a cinnamon stick. And it just added, and I actually put the halves of, because I needed zest and juice of an orange, obviously, for the cake. But I actually put those chunks of orange into the syrup.
It was delicious.
And boiled it down. And actually it just cut through the sugariness a bit by having sort of the cardamom and other bits. So I know we want to talk about this, but this is how sort of, flavours are very personal, but also a bit of a swap, it doesn't really matter.
No, we're going to talk more, aren't we, on our other podcasts going forward about swapses, if we've swapped ingredients and why, and did it work or not.
Definitely.
So one of the other things we did, wasn't it? This weekend, we had some lamb and I marinated it. And delicious. One of my favourite recipes, here we go, #Ottolenghi. But I'm going to push this one because it's such a great recipe. It basically is a few herbs, some parsley, mainly coriander, and mint. Those are the main ones, if you can get those. Your usual garlic and ginger, some chilies, and then lemon juice. But again, as Charlie said, any juice, lemon, limes. I just use up what I've got, to be honest. But what's lovely in this one, it's got soy sauce.
That's quite unusual.
It's got some red wine vinegar, and it's got a bit of honey. But again, you could swap the honey. And then it's just got some sunflower oil, but again, you could use olive oil. But basically, you whiz it all up, okay? And that becomes your marinade. But when you take the meat out and you take that off to be cooked, and you could obviously cook that on your barbecue, in your oven, whatever, we'll need searing first. But that marinade you heat up because you actually add some water to it as well. And you've got, once that's cooked through, you've got this most delicious, wasn't it?
Absolutely
sauce kind of thing that goes with it. And I just think you could use different ingredients, but that form of marinade to me is great because then you've got your relish.
Yeah, you've got your relish. Well, you've got, or gravy if you want to call it. But it's, what I quite like as well is there's like no waste because sometimes you marinate something and then it's like, the marinade just...
It's gone. Yeah.
So I think this is really clever. I also think what's clever is actually the use of these ingredients like the vinegar and the soy cuts through the fattiness of the lamb. Because one of my things, not moaning, I know we've done a bit of moaning already. I find lamb can be incredibly fatty inherently as a meat, which is that there's no problem with that because that's where the flavour comes from.
Well, particularly shoulder.
I think there's ways of cooking it, and this way of cooking it definitely renders all that down, but you keep the flavour and the deliciousness of the lamb is succulent.
And obviously sugars and acidity, all those are great for marinating because they tenderise.
Well, what's your favourite? Your lemon. You love adding lemon citrus to things.
Yeah, and I think that's another secret. I mean, to me, that's a secret weapon. I mean, for salt and pepper, yes, but a squeeze of lemon juice quite often into something will just absolutely lift flavours. So for me, a lemon.
So I was thinking, actually, we need to think about, we had that this weekend. What are we going to do? We've got a bank holiday.
Oh, yes.
What do we think? I was thinking, if the weather allowed, I was thinking we could do a sort of...
barbecue
or something like that.
Al fresco. Oh, yeah.
It might be quite nice.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But I think, unfortunately, the standard British bank holiday, there might be some rain. It's actually trying to rain right now. But we have, so I just, if there's anything else, anything you fancy
Charlie,
this weekend.
rain should not put us off. Remember my lovely surprise birthday that you and dear friends organised for me 1 July, in the middle of July, and it rained, but we were fine. The barbecue went ahead and it was the most fantastic day, I have to say. And that was lobster.
Yeah. I mean, it was umbrellas and wind and all sorts, and that was just me.
So, Charlie, our first relish.
For the second series.
And we've eaten relish, tried relish.
We've done everything
Lots of relishing.
But so we hope you enjoy the first episode of our latest series. We will be doing, obviously, 11 more episodes. So, yes, thank you very much for listening to the first series. First series is all up online, so you can keep listening to those. And we will keep cracking along, but if you've got any suggestions, please wing them over. We're at Relish Lifestyle on Instagram and TikTok. They're our main social media platforms. And it only leaves us to say, keep relishing life.